Okay, so we've done a lot of practice with multiplying fractions and dividing fractions, and we're really good at just solving the problems when they're straightforward, but straightforward numbers. We also need to practice when they are being presented in a word problem. So we're going to practice reading through a word problem and picking out the most important information. So if I look over here at my problem, it says Lester made 9 sandwiches using 9/10 of a jar of peanut butter. Each sandwich got the same amount of peanut butter. How much peanut butter did Lester use in each sandwich? So I noticed that I have two numbers here. I made 9 sandwiches and I used 9/10 of a jar of peanut butter. So I kind of like to look for what am I starting with. And I know Lester here is starting with 9/10 of a jar of peanut butter in order to make 9 sandwiches. So that guides how I write my problem. So he began with 9/10 of a jar of peanut butter. And he gave each sandwich the same amount of peanut butter. So he gave this much peanut butter to this many sandwiches. So he divided this much peanut butter among 9 sandwiches. Now I'm going to rewrite this first as a division problem using two fractions. So I'm going to rewrite 9, a whole number, as a fraction, 9 over 1. And then I'm going to rewrite it as a multiplication problem so that I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. 9/10 times 1 over 9. And I'm just going to multiply. 9 times 1 is 9. 10 times 9 is 90. Now, IXL is asking me to simplify my answer and write it as a proper fraction or as a whole and mixed number. I know that 9 and 90 can both be divided by 9. So I know that 9 goes into 9, of course, and 9 goes into 90. So I'm going to simplify this and write this in lowest terms. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 90 divided by 9 is 10. So I have to think to myself, does that make sense? If in total he's using 9/10 of a jar of peanut butter and he's splitting it up among 9 sandwiches, does it make sense that he would use a very small amount for each sandwich? And in this case, it does. I definitely should not be getting an answer that's bigger than 9/10 because it would be impossible for me to use more than he had. So this answer does make sense. So I'm going to submit it. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, a fancy restaurant put out small dishes of butter at each table. They divided 1/5 of a pound of butter evenly and filled 2 dishes. How much butter did they put in each dish? Simplify your answer and write it as a proper fraction or as a whole or mixed number. So I want to think about, what am I starting with? How am I dividing it? Or what am I finding a part of? So I am being told here that they divided 1/5 of a pound of butter evenly and filled 2 dishes. So they're starting with 1/5 of a pound and they're splitting it into 2 dishes. So I know that I'm starting with 1/5 of a pound and that is being divided evenly among 2 dishes. So of course I'm rewriting this as a division problem with 2 fractions, and then I'm going to rewrite it as a multiplication problem with the reciprocal. So then I multiply. 1 times 1 is 1, 5 times 2 is 10. Again, I want to think to myself, does this answer make sense? If they started with 1/5 and then they split it, the amount that they have in each dish is going to be less than 1/5. And I know that 1/10 is less than 1/5. So this answer does make sense here. All right.